If you're a skinny person trying to build muscle, but you're scared of gaining fat while doing so, I've got a solution for you, but it might not be what you want to hear. You see, I used to be really skinny and struggled with an eating disorder when I started lifting at the gym 7 years ago. My training intensity was good, and I was being so consistent. Sometimes training more than 7 times a week when counting the cardio and gym together. I gave my body all the stimulus to grow, all the reasons to get stronger and better, but the only thing I got was more judgment from myself. After 2 or so years of training like this, long difficult training sessions with minimal food intake before and after training, I got tired of it. The body dysmorphia, the difficulties surrounding my eating, and my lack of change both in the head and the body. I was tired of working as hard as everyone else in the gym, if not harder, but making only a portion of their progress. I was tired of seeing myself in the way I looked at myself, and most importantly, I was just tired of thinking about eating. Now, just a disclaimer, I am no doctor or a nutritionist. The things I'm about to share with you, I've learned from others and from my own experience, and want to share them with you so that maybe you'll gain something out of it. We're starting right off the bat with benefits versus effort in eating. Eating is important, but by no means you should overemphasize it. Do not make it too complicated and fancy for yourself. There are so many exotic diets nowadays that promise you superpowers and enlightenment, which they will not bring you. Do not let this discourage you from trying them out if you are interested, because it is always a good thing to try new diets as well. Aim for the most amount of benefits gained without sacrificing too much of your effort on just food alone. Of course, eating is essential for staying alive and making gains, but we are not wild animals which hunt to eat, to survive, to hunt again. Instead, you can just go hunt experiences and life while putting less effort on food and anything else. Put effort into things you love, and if food is one of them, put effort into that. If you're not a chef or a nutritionist, or food is not your life or job, then even if it is your job, you should not make it your whole life. Once you put that overemphasis on your eating, the additional benefits you'd gain aren't worth the risks and stress that would stem from it. I had a 3-year period where I didn't eat sugar at all. No candies, no pastries, and no birthday cakes made by my grandma. Those 3 years I didn't gain any additional benefits to my body or mind. I did lose fat and kilograms of weight, but other than that, the only thing I did was prove to myself that I could do it, but it was definitely not worth the effort. Now I've had the same no sugar policy, but that has been and will only be for the duration of my current cut, which has lasted 3 months now. But after this cut is over, I can have sugar and my favorite pastries again, which I cannot wait. Just goes to show that you should put effort into all things, especially eating, but doing too much will always end up taking more than giving. Second, maintenance is key. It is no secret that when it comes to counting your calories or anything related, you first have to know the amount your body expends energy, so your maintenance calories. This amount is just the energy that your body needs to preserve itself, using the energy for your bodily functions and keeping you moving. You're basically an energy burning machine, which is pretty cool if you stop and think about it for a second. But whether it be bulking or cutting, so calorie surplus and calorie deficit, you will have to know how much you need to maintain, because that is where we draw the line. And to count your daily calories, there are many ways, but the simplest one is just using a calorie calculator you can find online. To get a more accurate number, you kind of just have to play around and figure it out yourself. But the way I did it is also pretty simple. Not easy, but simple. I track my weight, and the key is to always measure my weight in the morning so fluctuation stays on the minimum. The important thing is you do this every day, and then you get your weekly or 2-week average. And with that average, you will know, you can see if you've gained weight or lost weight. If you've done neither, congratulations, you've got your calories to maintain your body. If it's gone up or down, you can fix it by fixing your calories with a 200 kilocalorie surplus or deficit. And that's bulking and cutting. So calorie surplus bulking is just adding 200 to 500 kilocalories on top of that maintenance, depending on just how aggressively you want to gain weight. Calorie deficit cutting is the same but in the opposite direction, with like 200 to 500 kilocalories, again depending on how aggressively you want to lose weight. You could go even more aggressive, but there are so many risks. The chances of you gaining that weight back or plummeting after bulking too hard are just the additional risk. I think isn't worth the reward. You want to build habits. You want to build consistency with your eating. Your hate for yourself is eating away your health and gains. Your relationship with yourself and your relationship to food will define your eating habits and flaws. For me, both of those relationships used to be so bad. Bottom of the barrel booty cheeks. I would first not eat and then hate the way my body looked when I was the reason. It was my fault. It took me some time, but instead of building with hate, I started building my body out of love. Not that I'm a narcissist, but taking care or trying to improve something you hate, especially yourself, is going to be hard. Just think of it this way. You're not gonna want to help somebody you hate. You want to like yourself even a bit, because that will help you tremendously with your gains, just with overall quality of life. But how I got to that point of just starting to like myself, like my body, is that I started experimenting with my eating. I took the leap of faith and started bulking, and I did this dirty. And sure enough, I gained weight. I looked pretty ugly in my eyes for a while, but the gains that came with it made me forget about all else completely. Like, I gained strength, I gained muscle mass. I didn't care if I looked a bit more fat. Because after years, I was finally making progress. Finally! But the main takeaway here is that even if you don't like your body, build and take care of it with love nonetheless. Be kind to yourself, and I don't mean you should eat whatever you want and stop training type of kind. Because sometimes kindness can be harsh and uncomfortable, since the kindest thing you can do for yourself is make yourself better. Improve yourself. Balance in eating is balance in body. It's really weird thinking back how wrong my mindset was towards eating and how twisted my body image was. It's like I was completely a different person. Before, I used to eat by the extremes, like I didn't know how to maintain, so I would starve myself, and when I was bulking, I did it by dirty bulking. I gained way too much excess mass instead of just muscle mass. Now I can confidently say that I've found my balance with eating. I can eat whatever I want and cook delicious foods without thinking bad about any of it. I do count my calories in and calories out, track my protein, but I've made that aspect in my life feel like a game rather than a task. Since there are times when I don't have the time and energy or resources to track my eating, and then I just have to go by how I feel. Usually it is right, sometimes it goes a little wrong, but I can always correct those mistakes on the long run. Because training and eating to build your body, it is not a rush, it is not a sprint, it is a marathon. Just even if you look or feel fat or skinny right now, that will change with time and effort you put into this craft. So don't get discouraged if you've gained weight or lost weight right now, because you can correct that in the long run. Eat like average, not like avarice. Okay, Mr. Poet, what does that mean? So just a bonus thing here, since I have a feeling that most of you watching are around my age and still don't make that much money that you could spend on foods. I want to say that remember, sticking to a diet and eating healthy shouldn't take away from your wallet too much. Of course, eating and foods are an expense, but just like with your diet, with your calories, you kinda have to learn to play around with it. And you become better at budgeting, become better at spending when you just do it yourself. Balance in belly should be balance in the bank as well. There are so many options in stores when it comes to eating healthy and eating on budget that you should prioritize those. I will definitely make a video about this topic in the future, since it is something I paid much attention to this year. I hope to see you in the next video. Like always, eat healthy, be kind to yourself, be kind to others. And I guess that's about it. Go and make the world a little better place, even if it is one dice roll at a time.